Okay, so the next equation that we're going to learn how to write is equations for ellipses. Now remember, there's two types of ellipses. There's horizontal and vertical. Horizontal, the bigger denominators underneath x. Vertical, the bigger denominators underneath y. Now x and y, it doesn't matter which one comes first as long as the bigger denominators underneath x for horizontal and the bigger denominators underneath y. Now just as a refresher, again, the center of your vertex is always h comma k. The center uses h for its x value and k for its y value. A is the distance from the center to the major vertex, or in this case, just the vertex. So here is A. B goes from the center to your covertex. So there is B. In order to write an equation for ellipse, there's actually three things we need. We need to know what A is. We need to know what B is. I'm sorry, I lied. There's four things we need. We need A, we need B, we need H, and we need K. H and K comes from the vertex. A and B comes from the vertices. Now, luckily, writing the equation of ellipse is much easier than a parabola. So here's my examples. Example number one is we're given this ellipse. Notice the ellipse is vertical in orientation and you have a center. First thing you need to do is figure out where the center is. Now, based on my ellipse, it looks like here is the center. Now, the center has a coordinate point of 3, 0. That center is what's going to give us our h and k value. So h is going to be 3, k is going to be 0, because the center is 3, 0. So there's our h and our k. Now, a is the distance from the center to the major vertex. So here is my major vertex. It's the farthest vertex. So A is going to go from my center to my farthest vertex. So A is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So A is 6. B is the distance from the center to the minor vertex or the covertex. And it looks like the distance from the center to the covertex is just 1. So there is our h, our k, our a, and our b. Now, just like with the parabola, we're just going to take these four values and we're going to plug it into the appropriate standard form. You need to decide, is this a vertical or a horizontal ellipse? In this case, it's vertical because the major axis is going vertically. So let's take our vertical form of the equation, x minus h quantity squared over b squared plus y minus k quantity squared over a squared equals 1. Now from here, we're just going to plug in our values. Remember, h always goes with x, k always goes with y, and make sure you take the opposite sign. So h, instead of a positive 3, you're going to put a negative 3 in our equation. So x minus 3 squared. Y goes with k. 0 really doesn't matter whether it's positive or negative. I'm just going to make it negative here. It really doesn't matter again. Now your denominators, you want to be very careful because normally if you're given an equation, you take the square root to get a and b. But if you're given values and you're going back to the equation, you don't take the square root, you actually square it. So b is actually b squared. So 1 squared is 1. A squared is 6 squared, so it is 36. Now, here's the equation of our ellipse in standard form, which is okay, but we want it in quadratic form. And this is where it's going to get a little bit tricky. Now, what we're going to need to do is, the first thing we're going to need to do is we need to get rid of these denominators. And the way we're going to do that is we need to multiply every single term by a number that 1 and 36 divides into. Now, the number that 1 and 36 divides into is 36. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply that first fraction by 36, the second fraction by 36, and this 1 by 36. Now, 36 divided by 1, that just gives me 36, x minus 3 quantity squared, plus, here we have 36 over 36, that actually cancels. So we're left with just y minus 0 squared equals, right-hand side, 36 times 1, that's just 36. Now from here, notice, we're going to need to FOIL and we're going to need to distribute the 36, but make sure you get the order correctly. You need to FOIL first before you distribute the 36. This is a very common mistake. So we need to take that x minus 3 squared first. So we're going to have 36. X minus 3 squared is going to become x squared minus 6x plus 9. Y minus 0 squared, I could just write that as y squared equals 36. Finally, let's distribute that 36. So we're going to have 36x squared. Then we got 36 times negative 6. This gives me a negative 216x. And 36 times 9. This gives me a 45. We still got the y squared. We still got that 36 on the right-hand side. Now, the only thing I have to do left is I'm just going to take this 36, move it over, and I'm going to rearrange things so that my x squared comes first. So minus 36 from the 45, and I'm just going to rearrange. 36x squared is going to come first. The other x is going to come second. My y squared is going to come next. And 45 minus 36, that's just going to give me a positive 9 equals 0. And there is our equation in quadratic form. Unfortunately, writing the standard form of an ellipse is easier than a parabola, but simplifying it is much harder.